Now, let's do in my remaining couple of minutes, this is my little crystal ball. I'm going to stick my neck out way far out and say the cost of oil will be rising in the coming decades. I cannot predict the price of oil today, tomorrow, or a year from today. If I could, I'd be where you guys are and not where I am. I would certainly be a lot richer. But 10, 20 years down the road, I think based on supply and demand, based on the fact that you're beginning to access less conventional sources of oil, hard to reach oil, more expensive lifting costs, and the higher demand, I think the price of oil will come up. The other thing, which some in this room may or may not agree with, is that year by year, despite the bumps and warts and wiggles, the evidence for climate change is increasing. And now China is openly saying, the leadership in China, the president, the premier, the vice premier on down are saying, the way the world is going, the way China is going in its carbon emissions is completely unsustainable in the world, very, very dangerous. So China has to decarbonize its energy, and they're moving very aggressively. Because of this, because countries all over the world are beginning to realize this, I think we will live in a carbon-constrained world. I don't know whether we'll be living in it 3 years from today, 5 years from today, or 10 years from today. We will be living in a carbon-constrained world. So, given these two guesses of where we'll be, given the fact that China, the European countries, and others are seizing this economic opportunity, here's a new revolution that you need. And they're moving aggressively to be a leader in that revolution. I still think because the United States has the greatest innovation machine in the world, we can still be the leader in this new industrial revolution. That is to say, an industrial revolution that gives us the energy we need and the energy we want and require for economic prosperity, but give it to us in a much cleaner form. But time is running out and the train's leaving the station. So with that, I'll stop.
Excellent. Well, the train left the station 1.5 minutes early, so. Dr. Chu, you've made a transition from the halls of academia to Washington, and it's fair to say that university life has its fair share of politics, and there's also a fair share of undergraduate behaviour in Washington. How has that transition been?
Well, you get used to no. It's been all right. There are a lot of common denominators that people don't realize in academic life, and in fact in life as a scientist. What is it that scientists are trying to do? They have a certain belief, a certain set of ideas, and they want to show the world, tell the world, convince the world that their discoveries are correct. They want to communicate to students how to think, how to look at data, how to do all those other things. And so the good news is some of those skills turn out to be useful. The practice over 35 years of explaining to people something and explaining to it in a way that they can understand is helpful. I think the biggest surprise perhaps is now, with all due respect to the press, and is that
kick us.
What was a little surprising is the press sometimes wants to make news and not just report the news, and so it takes a while to get used to that.